Thank you all for tuning in. This is Selena and
Iman.
together we make you plus happy. Each week we bring you someone who challenges us to define success and happiness on our own terms with a dose of laughter.
Remember to like and subscribe at You Plus Happy Podcast. You can also follow us on Instagram at You Plus Happy.
But this week you got us, Selena and Iman, and we're going to define success on our terms.
We are.
Yeah. Hey, Iman.
Hey, Selena. So anything, I guess we'll do a little bit of anything fun, exciting happen?
Yeah, I saw my nephew actually today, who's 3. I always talk about him. And this is not that great, but we were going around telling each other our ages because they tried to card my mom and stepdad, who are both well over 60, and they were carding them for wine. And so we started talking about ages. And my nephew was like, "How old are you, Onina?" And I was like, 29. He's like, "No, you're not." Now I was lying, but he didn't know I was lying. And I don't appreciate being called out by a 3-year-old.
That's cute.
Yeah.
He probably can tell from your tone.
You can't get one over on that guy, I'll tell you. Yeah, that wasn't exciting, but it was fun. It was cute.
That's cute.
What about you?
So I'm happy. We are officially back open in Region of Victoria. So we've been on lockdown for like the last 2 weeks. So we opened up this weekend, which is really, really nice. Got to go out. I feel like everyone was out. It was so busy, but I went and got my nails done. I went out to dinner and drinks. It was just nice to have human interaction. Forgot what that felt like. So that was good.
Yeah. Okay, I have to see the nails.
So I mean, you can't really tell with the light, but they're like a pinkish.
I like them.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad you got to go out.
It was much needed. And the weather was halfway decent, so that made me even more happy.
Hey, because it's winter there, right?
I think we're going into what comes out, spring? No.
I don't know.
Winter. I don't know the seasons.
I don't know the order.
I think it's spring.
After winter must come
Spring.
fall.
And then summer. Yeah.
Winter.
Because everything dies in the winter.
Yeah, and it has to come alive.
Yeah, okay. So I think we're in spring now.
Yeah, and then the summer is popping, and then fall.
And then it's fall.
Dying again.
No, in our seasons.
And look at us, explaining the circle of light. Or what? Okay. Thank y'all for tuning in. We're gonna head out because we're embarrassing ourselves.
Yeah. So that was my highlight of the week.
Good. And our listeners learned the order of the seasons. You're welcome. You don't get this anywhere. So have you been reflecting lately on anything? I know you always reflect.
I do. I do
Lowdown.
I'm what?
Give me the lowdown.
What's been in recent reflection? So with lockdown opening, I've realized, as you know, I'm like a social introvert, so I am okay being alone. I am, but I like to go out. But when I'm alone, I don't feel lonely, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I don't realize that I need that interaction until I actually have it. So I noticed that in the last 2 weeks, I was just doing my own thing, writing, reading, and working out. And I'm like, oh, okay, like this is okay. And then when I actually got some freedom and could have that interaction, I was like, oh, I needed this.
Yeah.
But I don't think I realized it until I had it.
Yeah.
So that's something that I don't need to be, but I want to be more mindful of, is like checking in with myself. So I think it's easy for me to just get in that habit of I don't know, being introverted and doing my own thing without actually checking in to see what it is I need.
Taking the pulse, the temperature of what you need at
Mhm.
that moment. Yeah. Oh, that made me think I get hangry. And I know people say that, and I was like, haha, that's funny. But like I didn't know it was a real thing. And like
Oh,
there's like a
yes.
science behind it and everything. And but I'm proud of myself because I was so hangry. Every little thing was irritating me. Like I was with someone and just them talking. I was like, in my mind, like, shut up, just shut up. But like the old, like when I was in my 20s, I would have said, shut up. And then
Mhm.
it would have been a whole big thing. And because I'm not 29, reference my nephew for his rebuttal to my age. But yeah, so I realized I have to eat. Like I was going to the beach last week and I was like trying to like eat very little for that week. I was tired, I was cranky, I was moody, I was mean. I was like, oh my gosh. So yeah, you gotta eat. So I don't
You
care
do.
no more about gaining weight. I don't care because I don't want to be sad. So I'm
That's fair. Food is definitely important.
just gonna eat because I want to be happy. You should be happy. Okay. And it
That's
takes
what it's all about. It's being
yeah.
happy.
And but on a more serious note, like I also realized, like, I think I said this last week on the podcast, but just like, like things don't come easily, right? Like, and happiness doesn't always just come to you. I think sometimes we think it's just, I don't want to sound preachy, but I think we think like it just happens or we get it when it comes and like we don't have control over it. And I
Yeah.
realized through food, nah, just kidding, not just food, but I realized I have to take it into my own hands and like I can't just hope that it comes. Just like anything
Mhm.
else, like I can't hope I lose weight by itself, like hope I make money, like more money than I want to make. You have to go out and make things happen. And like I feel like the same applies with happiness. So that was a huge, like, I don't know. It sounds simple, but it was a huge revelation for me. Like I have
Yeah.
control in that area.
Hmm. Yeah. I agree. And I think too, it's a lot of it's perspective, I've noticed too.
Yeah.
It's like the same thing can happen to two people and how they see it and how they respond to it can make such a big difference.
Yeah.
Like I've been in situations where like that are stressful, but and I think our guest last week kind of talked about this, Melita, just what you do with that stress and like how you try and find little um, rays of sunshine within that moment. And I think that makes such a huge difference rather than getting so bogged down in everything that's going wrong or the stresses that are happening.
Yeah.
And yeah, you have to work to get that perspective and just have that become a habit of like, all right, this is going wrong, but like, what else is going right today?
And be like conscious of it too. You have control to think about whatever you want to think about, but being aware of it and what's coming in, like what's going on, and be like, wait a minute. I don't have to react. I don't have to react to every thought I have or every, you know what I mean? And that's how when I was getting angry and I wanted to tell that person to shut up, I'm like, that's not going to get anybody where they want to be. And it's unnecessary to say. So I think just being like, not letting your thoughts run you, which is another kind of simple concept I think people have heard, but it's a good reminder because we can all get like bogged, like caught up in whatever thoughts are swimming around in there.
Yeah. There's I can't remember who I was listening to, but one of the podcasts that I was listening to last week, they were talking kind of about that. And he was like, oh, you feel like you're having a bad day. Someone didn't wake up today. And like, yes, it's a bit morbid, but I'm like, that's so true. Like, as long as we're alive, breathing above ground, like, it can't, like, make it a good day if you're here to
Try.
see everyone.
And remember, it'll pass. Someone reminded
Mhm.
me of that too, like, because there are such things as bad days. I don't want to like, at the same time, I don't want to like minimize a for real bad day because it'd be bad days or whatever. But like, also remembering, or bad moments or bad things that happen. Like, I don't want to minimize that, but also like remembering it's gonna pass. Like, you're gonna, if you, like you're saying, as long as you're living, you're gonna keep trucking along, and like this is gonna, it's temporary, it's all temporary. And that's what I have to, whew, some days I'm like, okay, you just got to get through this hour, you'll be fine. And then you get to the next one. So, but it's not always like that. I don't want to sound like I'm always struggling. It's not. But
Hope
yeah,
not. Hope not.
no, but I'm human and I have good and bad moments and things, it's about what, like we were saying, this is about what you do with what's happening to you and around you. And that's all you can do with control of how you respond to things. Like, you can't control everything. So, I was curious though, like, I was thinking about this last week. How do you deal with procrastination?
How do I deal with it?
Like, when there's something you need to do, but because we all put something off, right? Like, how do you deal with, like, I know I need to do this, but you keep putting it off, keep putting it off? Like, how do you combat it? How do you, like, no, I gotta get this done?
I feel like for me, I go back to there's certain podcasts that I've listened to, or like inspirational videos that just get me pumped. And I feel like ET is one of them, because he's just very energetic and very like, it's hard to be complacent when you listen to him. So a lot of times I'll just put him on and listen to him for a little bit. And that gives me a little bit of motivation to get up and do it. And then another thing is breaking it down. So for me, I procrastinate because I'm like, oh, this is such a big task that I need to do and it's going to take hours. So sometimes I'll just say like, all right, I'm going to spend an hour doing this. And wherever I'm at the end of that hour, I'm just going to put it away. And it makes it more manageable for me to just do a little bit. And a lot of times I will do longer than that hour, but going into it being like, I'm just going to do an hour helps me, I don't know, kind of tricks my mind to be like, you can do an hour, Iman. It's not that long.
At least get started.
Yeah. What about you?
I procrastinate about a lot of stuff. So I need deadlines. So even if I have to make one up, I need that like sense of urgency or something. Like, but what works better than anything else is mind stuff. Like, there was something I didn't want to do that was gonna plant a seed for my future, and I'm like, kept putting it off, and I was like, do you want to be in the same place you were last year? Wait, do you want to be right here next year? Do you? No, I don't. And then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go do it. Like, mind stuff really, like, even when I'm working out, I talk to myself like out loud. I'm on the street, like, just keep going, go up the hill, shut up, don't complain. Like, some days I need gentle, like, come on, you got this. And then some days like, shut up, get blood, sweat, and tears. And then I put, this is silly, but I put Britney Spears on work, bitch. And she's like, you want a hot body? I'm like, yes, Brittany, I do. She's like, you want a Maserati? I'm like, yes, I'll take one. You want a mansion? I'm like, yes. She's like, you better work, bitch. I'm like, okay. And so like,
I don't know if I know that song.
You better work, bitch. I'll send it to you. It's like you've probably heard it because it was a huge workout song a couple years ago, but I don't know what years, like more than a couple years, but time ago. And like 2001. No, I'm not. It's not that long. It's not that old. You've heard it though. But yeah, I'm like, that kind of stuff. I'm like, sometimes I look at my, like, this, I can be using exercise. Like, sometimes I'll see my body's not where I wanted to be. I was like, I didn't work, bitch. That's the problem. And then, or I'll put on like, this is my last one. I'll put on Rick Ross, but I'll put on this, and it's like, drop it, pump that, don't stop. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like,
I know that one. I do know that one.
I'm like, don't stop, just go. So with working out, I have a lot of things that keep me going because I've been doing it for so long that are helpful. But like other things, like starting new things, I'm still looking for some tricks because like I know I need to start something and I'll just keep putting it off, putting it off. Next thing you know, it's 3, 4 months later. It's like, girl, now. But if there's a deadline involved, somehow the day before the deadline, it's all magically done.
Yeah, girl. You work well under pressure.
Very well. Like when I just,
Yeah.
if you tell me I have 2 weeks to do something, I'll be like, okay. And I will do it the day before it's due. And then,
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people, I know that I'm guilty of it, do that. It's like
yeah.
you feel like you have so much time and time is going by so quick and you're like, oh shoot, that's due tomorrow. Um, I think I struggle the most with the workout piece. But one thing I did, you just reminded me of it, is this week I've been waking up early and working out before work.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did is I did a voice recording to myself the night before as like an inspiration. So like when I wake up, I always have the same excuses. I'm like, oh, it's so cold.
Mm-hmm.
I'll sleep for just like another 10, 15 minutes. And then the other one is like I'll work out after work. So like in my recording to myself, I told myself like all those things aren't gonna work out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's helped. Like I'll wake up in the morning and I just hit play. And it's weird to hear yourself talk to yourself, but I'm like, I've gotten up 4 days out of the 5 this week to work out. So I'm like, oh, I'm my own motivation today.
Yeah. And I think it goes back to being conscious too, like, and knowing who you are, like knowing what works for you. I
Mhm,
know getting up and working out doesn't work for me. Like I know that I've tried it.
mhm.
But you like, but that works for a lot of people. They know they can get it out the way. It's
Yeah.
done. So I think that, yeah, that's an important point too, to know like what's gonna work for you and what doesn't. Only thing that the main thing for me is like there you can find time. If you can find time to watch a show or go on Instagram, Instagram is
Mhm.
my social media poison of choice. But if you can find time to do that, you can find time to go for a walk, just a walk. And oh, it's raining. Big whoop. They made an umbrella. Like, get over it. I don't. So with me, I don't. It's been a long time. I'm not trying to say I'm like a bodybuilder because listen, y'all, it's not popping like that. But I do. I'm really very active. But that's just one of those things. It's like it's no excuses, and I don't. Um,
Mhm.
it's period. Like I'm like, even when you're in the hospital, if they'll make you walk around the hospital, like if you can,
Yeah.
like so there's no excuse. Even if my stomach hurts or I feel a little sick, go outside. That's when I get a little aggressive.
But it really is all mental.
Yeah, it is.
Like,
Yeah.
and that's, I think, when people are trying to get started on a new habit, a new routine, I think that's something that people kind of disregard because it really just starts in your mind. Like, you
Mhm.
just have to get past that block. At least I know that I had to in order to get started. And then once I'm past it, I'm like, all right,
Yeah, I think getting
everything,
started is the hardest.
so
Yeah.
much easier.
Once you like do it and it's just a part of you, yeah, you don't have to think about it as much.
Hmm.
I still got to think about things, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I was just curious about that because it's a lot of stuff I've been putting off, and I need to like just stop making excuses. Like my plate's full, girl. Bye. Your plate is not that full. It's like really not.
You know what's a good reminder for me? Because I feel like, I mean, I can't say compared to everyone, but within my circle, I do feel like I spend less time on like my devices. And I consciously like will make an effort to just put my phone away or put my computer away. But you know how you get the reminders of how much screen time you've had this week?
Mhm.
And for me, that's a big reminder because it's still higher than I want it to be. And I'm like, oh, like
Yeah,
if I had these many hours to spend on the screen, like I could have been doing something more productive. So
yeah.
that's a good reminder for me to kind of keep things in perspective.
And it gives you an actual number of like how much time you actually really for real had. Like you
Mhm.
had this much
Yeah.
time. Like,
It's
what
like,
we
I don't have
know of
any
on this
time.
community.
You spent 10 hours this week. Like,
You
oh.
didn't have any time? Okay, well, we got something for you because it looked like you did. So it's like,
Looks like you had plenty of time.
it looks like you had all the time in the world, sweetie. You wanted to laugh at some cat videos. Well, now you don't, your life's in the toilet because you.
Yes. So those are really good reminders for me. Like, okay,
I
get it
like
together.
that. I like that a lot to look at it from that perspective because I just look at those numbers and like, whatever, and then go back on Instagram.
You're like, oh, that's nice. What else can I look up?
10 hours? That's crazy. Anyway, I'm going on Amazon now. Like, girl. That's yeah, that's a really good reminder.
And I find when I'm trying to procrastinate and put things off, I'll look up things that I don't even care about. Like
The
just
season,
random stuff that I'm just like, oh, I wonder what that actor from 1990 is doing now and if they have any kids. Like, really, Iman? You don't care. You just don't want to do this thing that you're supposed to be doing.
I looked up Allen Iverson's high school the other day. Like, girl, you high school.
Wait, no, I looked up all. You remember Boy Meets World?
Yes.
I looked at the cast and just looked up like what everyone's doing now. Like, why? Why do you need that information?
Like, why do I need to know what Allen Iverson's high school is? Like, so.
But I think that speaks to like everything, like we're information overload. And I feel like as soon as there's downtime, like I feel like there's something I need to be doing. And
As soon
it's
as a
not all
thought comes in
productive.
your mind, you know you can look it up. I want to get out of that habit, but it's hard.
Uh, one thing that's helped me though is I've started to, especially at night, is I'll put my phone in a different room.
Yeah.
So I know like if a thought comes, I'm like, I don't feel like getting up and like going in that room. So I'll just let it go. But it's a bit tricky because sometimes I need to hear my alarm in the morning and I can't guarantee that will happen.
Yeah,
But
you're a hard sleeper.
mhm.
I think it goes back to being conscious again, too, like letting those thoughts come in and letting them go. And I didn't even think about that before this conversation. Like, I don't have to Google what kind of bird is flying by me. Like, I just can look at the bird and just
Just
walk.
appreciate its beauty and let it
Yeah.
go.
What kind of tree is that? I wonder. Like, you don't need that. And that's what I did when I was studying for my certification. That was one of the recommendations, was to put your phone in another room. Because some days were harder than others to focus. Like, I'm not gonna lie. And that really worked for me, was putting my phone in another room. Really, really did help.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say I haven't done it since I've been here, but when I was in LA, I used to go to like once a month, it was like a meditation group. And I remember one of the things he would say, he's like, when you first start, there's all these thoughts that are gonna come. And he's like, rather than, because I would get frustrated with myself. I'm like, why can't I just clear my head? And he's like, rather than being frustrated or upset with yourself, like you said, let them come, acknowledge them, and then let them leave.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was getting better when I was doing that, but then I stopped and now it's hot mess
Yeah,
again.
it's a training though. I feel like it's just like training it. Like, even when I was saying I wanted to tell that person to shut up when I was hangry, that was me training myself not to say anything. Like, when I was younger, I would have said it, you know what I mean? But that took time for me not to say every thought that comes in my mind. Like, you can think about that and not say it. You can really do that. And if I really need to get it out, I'll write a note in my phone. Like, if I want to vent about something and it's not enough for me to call somebody or text somebody, like I really need help with something, I'll be like, all right, Selena, you do have to get this out though. Just getting anything out I need to vent about in productive ways.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. It's interesting because I feel like I had the opposite issue as you, where I was so in my head sometimes and like reflecting about how to respond that it wouldn't come out. So I've had to train myself to just say it. And then if it doesn't come out the way I want, explain it. Because sometimes I don't mean it from a mean place, but like sometimes when I communicate things, especially at work, it's very straightforward. So it's interesting how you have to kind of retrain yourself and yeah.
Yeah. Well, we are works in progress, and I
Yeah,
think
we are. No one's perfect. Everyone's
no,
learning and
never.
growing.
And I think we're doing a swell job.
Selena's definitely not 29 with using well job.
No, no, I'm telling you to shut up. I'm so sorry. The last thing I wanted to tell you real quick was I was outside and I was taking a walk or whatever, and I saw some people outside, and I was trying to judge people, but we still do it. So like it slips out. And I, again, trying to train myself not to. And I was judging these people a little bit. And I swear, I looked up and this woman's shirt said, I can't remember it verbatim, but it was like, don't worry about my life. I love who I am or something. And I was like, damn, she's right. And it was just funny, like the universe, like, no, like I consciously, like I know I don't want to judge people, and I was judging them. And in that moment, that woman's shirt, I saw that. Like I was
Yeah.
like, thank you, thank you, thank you. I was like, she's absolutely 100% right, and I need to mind my business. That had nothing to do with me. And then it was a beautiful reminder of like what I want to how. Because why am I sitting there worried about what they're doing? I was giving off Karen vibes. No, I wasn't. But
You definitely, I was thinking that. I was like, Karen.
right. I was just like, I wasn't ever going to say anything, but I was being judgmental of like how I thought their lifestyle was. But it was just super judgmental. But it's just the point is like, I think when you try to be better or whatever, like things will come along to help you. I'm not articulating this well, but you understand.
No, I know what you mean. There's this guy on Instagram. I don't remember his name, but he does all these videos about and they're really corny. Like, you know, when you were in school, you used to have to watch those like anti-bullying
Yeah.
videos. Like it has that type of feel, but
Mhm.
it's all about like not judging a book by its cover. And they're actually really I sit through quite a few of them. But they're really inspiring. And I'm just like, oh, I love the idea of it because we all do it,
Mhm.
whether we're conscious or not.
Yeah.
And it just gives you a different perspective of maybe understanding what's going on behind the scenes for that person.
Yeah. And it keeps you open-minded and open. And it's like
Mhm.
I think it just opens up your world and you have a, a better life. My
Mhm.
brain's like shutting off, but you know what I'm saying? And like when you're judging, I feel like it just closes you off and puts blinders on because
Mhm.
you've already put this person in a box.
Yeah.
And it's only from your experiences.
Hmm.
And
Exactly.
you just made yourself like, I don't know, a little ignorant. Like
Yeah.
you could have learned so much. It's just really
Hmm.
hurting yourself, and it's not loving. That's not loving light, you guys. So it's just nasty. And that's how it feels to me. It doesn't feel good, and I don't want to do it. So that lady shirt told me to not shut up and mind my business, and that's what I'm gonna do.
I think too, though, like we do all do it. And I think it's about acknowledging when you're doing it
Yeah.
too. Like, because I think that that's like a reflective piece of like, oh, okay, I'm being judgmental in this time or this moment. Like, how can I not be or be more open?
Yeah.
And I remember I had a conversation with someone, this is like months ago, about just being open to people that are different. And I was like, that doesn't necessarily mean you have to agree or like align with them. But I think it's different to be like, oh, okay, I understand where you're coming from. I don't agree
Yeah.
versus like, why are you this way?
Right.
And they just couldn't see that the difference in perspective.
I think that's a huge difference, like accepting but not agreeing. And I also
Hmm.
think even if you think your judgment is warranted or is valid or it has, it's justified, even
Yeah.
if it's probably not, it's justified in your mind because you're working off of your perspective and your
Mhm.
background. But you don't know anything about this person, again, because you've judged them and put them in a box. And so it's like, I think also reminding myself that even if I feel that way, I don't really have any basis. It's not justified and it's
Mhm.
not okay. And I don't agree with what I see,
Yeah.
but I'm just going to choose. I'm just not going to involve myself in it.
Mhm.
I see you, love and peace. I'm going to walk away.
Exactly. And that is the choice that we have.
Yes, but I don't have to condemn them
Yeah.
and throw rocks at them,
Mhm.
proverbial rocks, because I'm not about the violence now.
Yes,
So
I
I
agree.
think, yeah, I think that's what I was saying and what you're saying, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
It's a long road.
It is. But I think that's the beauty of it, just being able to reflect and understand that and grow. Because I don't think I always was at the point that I'm at now where I could do that. Uh,
Oh,
growth.
growth. You're welcome. Okay. Um, do you have anything else, Iman?
Um, no, do you? Oh wait, I do.
Okay,
One more thing.
fire it off.
What is a project or something that you're working on currently, if you don't mind sharing, that you're excited about?
So I don't have anything that's in the stage in the process to share, right?
Mhm.
But yeah, I can't. Listen, I'm trying to um I need to get like there's three things on the stove that are cooking
Mhm.
that
Okay.
I just
3
pulled the
separate, like,
yeah, three very
meals?
different things. I pulled out the ingredients, I put them on the counter, but I ain't started cooking yet.
Okay. Okay. At least you have all your ingredients. That's key.
The ingredients are the thoughts in my mind, and I wrote them down.
Okay.
There's like a plan-ish for them.
Okay.
I would like to share more, but I know, but one thing I will say is I've been talking about it for a long time. I really want to do my singing and I need to like stop playing. Um, I don't even care. I'm not trying to become the next Beyonce. I'm not delusional. I'm not 29. So I just want to do it. Like I love it so much. Um, so that's one of the things I would love to get going in a real way
Mhm.
instead of recording myself singing on my Mac.
That's exciting though. Because you
Yeah,
have been talking about it.
for a very long time. Oh, this is so exciting though. So I was cleaning up my phone real quick. Is this too long? I can edit it up, but I probably won't. um, I was cleaning up my phone and it was this picture a screenshot I took in like 2015 or 2000, whatever, a long time ago. And it said like podcast started, the book you want to write started, the song you want to say started. I was like, I did do the book, I did do the podcast. Oh my God. Like, so it's like, oh, here it is. You've probably even seen it. Oh, it was 2018, but I did. So it's like the podcast launched it.
Mhm. It's a glare, but I can see the list. There's a lot of
Yeah.
stuff in there, girl. That's
What'd you say?
good. There's a lot of like different things on
Well, it was
there.
just a screenshot of something that somebody else posts. But
Oh,
it was
okay.
stuff that I wanted to do. Their point was just do it, like, and then I
Mhm.
did like two of them. So I don't know. I was just really proud that some
Yeah.
of it has happened. So yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I think I'll answer any question. But I was gonna say I feel like that's so important because at least for me, when I'm accomplishing goals, you get so caught up in just the day to day. So being able to reflect and be like, oh, like I've done this and I've done this and I've done that is definitely motivation to keep going for
Yeah.
sure.
And it was a reminder to like give myself credit too, because I can be um very hard on myself to a point where it's like not healthy. And it was just a reminder like you're capable and able to do, things because you've proven that to yourself in the past. It's not just you talking, you've done some
Mhm.
things. And then when I was at a store today and I saw this little giraffe and it was like it was like a token. And it was like, it just was a kind of coincided with it. It was like stand tall and be who you are and be proud of who you are and like just embrace it. And it was a
Mhm.
long thing and it was just super dope. And I just felt like it reminded me like, don't get caught up on your failures, like focus on all the things you have accomplished.
Yeah. It's a good little reminder for sure.
Mhm. Mhm. So you must have something up your sleeve.
Um, no, I just wanted to know what you had now. um, I feel like mine is also in the ingredients are there, the thoughts are in my mind. And I don't know if I've actually mentioned this to you, but you know that I love being in like around education, not necessarily teaching, but just being in that environment.
Mhm.
So I want to start to pursue that again. And I was thinking about potentially doing higher ed, and it's been in my mind for a while, like doing a class or something for college students. But I think I always will talk myself out of it, just out of a bit of fear. One, I hate public speaking. Like I'm good one-on-one, small groups,
Publicly
but
speaking now.
no, but it's you and I. Like I can't see our audience,
Yeah.
but if a classroom of adults, then I'm just like, Um, so that's one thing that's held me back, but I'm like, I got to get over that. And then also in all my college classes, there was always that one or two students that was always challenging the professor. And I'm like, I know that's a reality. I don't like conflict.
Yeah.
So in those instances, I'm like, I have to be comfortable with that. And there was a few instances where the student actually knew a bit more.
Mhm.
Like, dang, like
Yeah.
I felt, but I'm like, that's part of learning. You always have those people, and it's like if you can learn from anyone. But
Yeah.
I think with the way it was, from what I saw, the way that the student did it was very like, I'm gonna show you, I'm smart, and I'm just like, I don't want to deal with that.
Mhm.
But it's been in the back of my mind for years, and it hasn't gone away. So I'm like, you know what? Like I need to push those fears aside and just go for it.
Just try it. If you don't like it, you don't have to do it.
Mhm.
Just like one of our guests said, I think it was Dr. Kate, but she was saying where her dad told her, I think it was her dad, just try it for a year. You could do
Yeah.
it for a year. And then she ended
Mhm.
up staying there for a long time. But if you don't, it's just that year is going to pass anyway, like where that
Mhm.
time is going to pass anyway. It's just a reminder. I'm just repeating all the stuff we already know. But
Yeah.
and if you don't like it, then quit. The hell, then you you did it.
So that's something I'm like, I'm gonna actually, rather than just thinking about it and making my list, I'm like, I'm actually gonna start pursuing that and seeing how to get my foot in the door. Um,
Yeah,
and maybe starting with a small class and then seeing where I go from there. I love like that interaction of just being in education and seeing those breakthroughs with students.
yeah,
Makes me happy. But I don't want to, I've always said I don't want to teach, but I'm like, I could do adults. I don't want to teach like younger kids though, because it's really a lot of behavior management. And I'm like, I don't
mm,
have the patience for that.
yeah. You got to know yourself.
But
So that's amazing, though. I'm excited for you to get started and try.
thanks.
I think you'll do fine. I really do. I think too, I might be wrong, but like when someone proves you wrong or whatever, it's like putting your ego aside and just accepting, like,
Mhm. Yeah.
I didn't know that. Sometimes it can be hard to admit when you're supposed to be the person who does know. It's just, yeah. And then I know in the classes, like, we can cut some of this off, but real quick, some of the classes I've taught, they would be, and I didn't, this is very different than what I'm sure, like the subject matter, but there are people who ask me questions. I have no idea. I'm like,
Mhm.
I'll get back to you next week. I'll have an answer. Or there's people who are like even adults that'll distract the class or just start talking to me in the middle of class about something random. And you're like, you have so many skills that you don't use or realize that you tap into with, like, I guess tact, like, and you're tactful. So I'm way more tactful than I thought. And I'll be like, dang, that was a good answer, Selena. Good answer. So you'll see so much and learn so much about, like, all these skills that are lying dormant in you too, or they're
Yeah.
already cultivated. And it's just like, it's really exciting.
And all the, like, you can do those career like quizzes, and they
Mhm.
always come back as like teaching. And I'm just like, I don't want to be a teacher. I don't want to be a teacher. But I think because I was thinking like middle school, high school,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I could do like mature. Like, I'm not going to be telling a 29-year-old, like, stop hitting your partner, please. I
Let's
hope
hope
not.
not.
Like, don't put the pencil up their nose. No, it wasn't that bad, but still. So
Yeah. No, that's exciting, Iman. I'm excited. I can't wait for you to start.
it's, right now it's like the ingredients, but
Well,
I
let's
want to,
get it done.
by the end of the year, I want to have something at least set up, or
Yeah.
at least have applied to like a couple places. Um, yeah. So.
Well, you got it. And now you've put it out into the world. And so you got to do it. You got accountability. All of our many listeners and me will be holding you accountable.
Same with you and your singing.
I know. And that's when you brought up those quizzes, I've taken so many career quizzes. They all said entrepreneur
Mm-hmm.
and performing, theater, all that. So that's what I need to be doing. I need it.
Mm-hmm.
I could not live without it.
Yeah.
So
So can we say before the year is over, both of us will take steps towards those goals?
yes,
Okay.
because we're in the end of the
Here,
third quarter. We got fourth quarter left.
we do. We do.
And a lot can happen in a few months, but a lot can happen in 1 year. Because last year, this time, I was in a much different position than I am now. And it's all been for the better.
Yeah.
So
Exciting.
thank you for that question. It is important to keep ourselves motivated and excited and doing things we want to do.
Mm-hmm. That's our motivated dance.
Hey. Okay, things got too went. I always go too far. I'm sorry. Do you have anything else?
No, that's all I have. Do you?
No, I don't have anything else.
Great.
Well,
Thank you, listeners, for tuning in, learning a little bit more about Selena and myself. We couldn't do this without you. Remember to hit like, comment, and share this episode. Please leave a review. We always want to hear your feedback. Remember, you can subscribe at U Plus Happy Podcast, also available on YouTube and Instagram at U Plus Happy.
we'll see you next week, same time, same place, and we'll show you our definition of success if you show us yours.
Okay.
Hey, see y'all.
We'll have a topic for ourselves.